Hey everyone, thank you for joining Task Sequencer to my channel. My name is Rakesh, and today we are going to talk about Microsoft Hands-on Lab. Now, it's a walkthrough session which I want to do because I know people like me sometimes don't see what Microsoft brings in, and which are really awesome. And everybody should try that who are working on different technologies like Microsoft Azure or any other products. Now, let me give some history about what hands-on lab and what was previously it was called as. So Microsoft used to provide, resources, features, or like hands-on experience, I can say, so that people can go to those places and log in and see how in real time those applications felt like. So previously it was called as Microsoft Virtual Labs. Yep, Microsoft Virtual Labs, and uh, I'm now in IT from last 10 years, and I used to work on technologies like SCCM, SCOM, Exchange, and all those products, and to evaluate them, to see how they look and feel, and how to use them actually. Virtual Lab was a great resource for me at that moment, and now as things are changing, and definitely all people are moving into cloud, and there are so many cloud infrastructures out there, services provided, and Microsoft themselves have something called as Microsoft Azure now. Yep, let me do a hands-on on what how Microsoft hands-on labs looks like, and uh, how they are going to help you guys in understanding different, um, you know, like different way in which you can get a real-time experience on different products. Predominantly, I will say Microsoft Azure because it's a service that Microsoft is pushing like anything. Without any further ado, let me jump in. Right. All right. Let me log in. This is the link I'll put in my show notes. This is called as Microsoft.com Hands-on Labs, and let me punch in. Let me see if it is able to pull in the details of the virtual labs. Okay, this is a website. This is how it looks like. So it gives you a bird eye view on what all labs are there and what you can do. I'll just go and do a walkthrough. Let me log in. Let me log in with my ID. It's free of cost, so definitely I'll log with my uh, Hotmail ID. Okay, what I was saying, this site, all this, you know, features, all the resources which are provided on this are free of cost. I haven't seen anything based on which is costing here, because obviously Microsoft want people to experience a product, use them on real time, so that they can go to the customer and then they can do the marketing part of it. So I'm doing my bit. I am not a Microsoft employee, so I'm just a customer. So I'll log in here. Let me see where it takes me. Right. I think I'm signed in now. Yep. I'm signed in. You can see where I can. Right. Now, see, there are many things which I wanted to talk about rather than only hands-on lab. For the name's sake, they are saying it's hands-on lab, but there are many other aspects of it which everyone can use for. What I have seen when I was going through the site is predominantly based on the product which Microsoft is pushing is Microsoft Azure. I haven't seen any other product while I was going through. Let me do go one by one. So what is virtual classes? Virtual classes, I think, are they used to have webcasts previously. Now there are something called as virtual classes now, in which you can learn different technologies based on Microsoft Azure, I think. Yep, pretty much sure, because I can see at the very moment eight classes are going to be available for different people, and all are based on either Microsoft Azure or Microsoft Enterprise Mobility or Microsoft EMS, which they are talking about. And yeah, there are different tracks based on them both. So predominantly in Microsoft Azure I can see. So it's pretty simple here. You just have to go here. You have to see on which date the classes are going to be available. So I'm recording this video on the July 20th of 2017, and as you can see, some of the sessions are closed, and based on your reason you can see, and you can go and click on here and see if you are able to, you know, able to register to the sessions or registers to the hands-on webcasts which you guys can make use of. So yeah, the details are here. All the other details you can find in here. So yep, it was just a peek into how to log into the hands-on lab and go into the virtual classes. But I wanted mostly now to talk about self-paced labs, which is analogous to the virtual labs we used to use in, you know. Yeah, you can see here there are different labs available here. So these are the labs which we used to do when, Microsoft used to have the Hyper-V based environment hosted in a third party um, data center from where they provide all these virtual labs. Sometimes they used to be unreliable because you have to install plugins and all those things. They are not, maybe sometimes the browser were not compatible, systems were not compatible. I remember I used to face a lot of issues, but I'm not saying they were bad. They were in a way lagging some places. But with the outset of cloud technology, now everything can be done through browser. And let me see if I'm facing any glitches, but I'm pretty sure I have gone through this site along a lot many time, and I know cloud as Microsoft Azure like the efficient, the most reliable cloud entity out there, and I'm a big fan of Microsoft Azure, and I'm learning as much as possible I can because of these resources which are provided by Microsoft. Now, you can see here something called as 238 self-placed labs are present. You can also filter based on expertise you have, and as per that, all those labs will come up here. So there's something, the interesting thing they have made something like any new lab which has they have put in. So they have mentioned new. Some labs are called as hot labs, which are like people are more and more following. You can review this also. There are reviews optional, and most are like 4.5 stars. That's almost like perfect. So I hope people haven't faced any issues while accessing all these labs. So what I'm going to do here now, let me jump in to see if I'm able to access anything, any lab from here. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about in the meantime, if this lab is coming up, if you are going to experience Azure and want to do a hands-on, definitely you can go to Microsoft Azure portal.azure.com. But again, you have to create a free trial. You have to do a lot many things. Which may be time taking and which are maybe having less features because you are going to get trials. But by using virtual labs or the hands-on labs, everything will be given to you as in a lab environment are provided, and you can have those handy. You can learn the best way, you can learn the steps how to do a lab exercise based on the recommendation based on the steps provided by Microsoft. I just logged into a lab so that I can show you guys how it looks and how it feels like to go into the lab and see how the lab works. Definitely, I'm not a robot, so I'll click on this. I'll do a launch this lab. All right, it is launching in. I have a reliable network. I know it will be faster. Yep. So you can see here, it's deploying the high availability, deploying a high available virtual machine. This is a lab which I'm going to do. So they are creating the lab for me. It is mentioned that it will take 5 minutes. I'll pause this video and come back. All right. It says now the lab is created for me and it has some instruction notified here. Your lab environment is ready and it is asking me that you will be able to access this lab by using RDP or by using RDP client, which will be provided to me. Your password is this. Let me copy this out. It's a random password which generates based on, you know, the lab they are going to provide you. So I don't want to hide that. Let me open the connection file. Yes, it's asked me to save it. Let me save it or yep, and open it. Let me open now. All right. It is showing me something like this in which this is a computer which is provided to me. It's a cloud app, definitely. So everything is hosted in Microsoft Azure. And let's talk about the publisher here. Let me connect. So it has given me a name called as Richard. I don't know why. So I have copied this password. Let me copy the password. Okay, I will do it again. Copy and paste. Right. Your remote connection trying to let me in into this remote connection where I can be able to access this lab. So in previous virtual labs, we used to have, the virtual machines, a Hyper-V environment created for us. And from there we used to log in, but here it's directly pushing me into a RDP connection, which is providing me a machine from where I can access, my lab, deploying a highly available virtual machine, which I want to access to. This thing is, see, the RDP connection is getting connected, and you can see some information, some mentioned here, definitely are required to be used in your lab. It's like a generic virtual machine which has been provided to me in which I will be able to access a lab. It seems to have internet connectivity and it's trying to run something. That's the interesting part here. Earlier we used to have, while logging it used to provide us a PDF file in which the lab instructions are mentioned, but this looks to be different. It's opening maybe an HTA page or something. Yep. It talks about what's the lab going to be and how we are going to access it. So an overview talks about the subject in which we are going to have our lab. So details are mentioned, like it is asking us to create a Windows Server 2016 data center virtual machine in Azure High Availability Set utilizing managed disk. So I'll not go into the details. I just wanted to show this lab how it's working. So let me start the lab. Wow, this is what it says. It gives me something like this in which you can deploy, and obviously there's a time limit for that, like every lab we have. So it talks about scenario it's going to give me, and it talks about this information. Let me install down. We can learn more about it. It must be having something in the the doc .microsoft.com where they have segregated all their documentation related to not only Microsoft Azure but all other products they are supporting and creating. So yeah, that's true. I'll just close it. I'll not go to details. And let me see if I'm able to log into the Azure portal as asked by this. So each and every task which I'm going to do, for example, let me log into this, and after that I'll click check. That means I've done this part, so I'm aware, all right, that I have started working on this. Maximize it, I have done. It is giving me an email ID through which I can log into the Azure portal, and I'll just copy and paste. Oh, that's it. Then again I'll do a copy and paste of the password and see if I'm able to log in. First one is done. Oh, second one's done. So you can see I'm able to log in. So it is asking me sign in, and then I'll click maybe later because obviously this is the first time I'm going to log in with this user, and maybe this user is logging for the first time. So here it is. You need not to have to, We never went to Microsoft Azure portal, created it. We didn't create a trial account. We haven't gone through this hectic task of, how it will look like. You were not there. Also, you didn't provide any, I think, credit card information because they require it if you are going to buy it. So overall, rather doing all those things, I am able to access a Azure portal or the Azure cloud, and I have some instruction to follow in which I will be able to understand what this task mean to me. And this is what lab is, right? We do a certain set of scenarios, real-time scenarios actually, in which it can help us to understand how the products work for and work, and we can take this learning to our customers or the enterprise we are supporting and try to implement the same there. So that's what I wanted to show here. I'll not go any further. You can see here it talks about many other entities. You can also do your own learning side of learning. I'm doing mine, and I'm really happy these resources are available and provided by Microsoft. I'll not lose this opportunity to learn as much as possible by help of Microsoft Hands-on Lab. That's pretty much I wanted to talk about. Hope it was useful. Do join into this channel, Task Sequencer. In future, I'll try to put forward much more better, informations like this, so that it be helpful for you to learn Microsoft Azure and other product which I may be putting in future too. Thanks. Bye.